Hello, my friends. Katie Day with the Move Me to Texas team here live at the Tom Ferry Summit in Dallas for a very special episode of the Real Advice Podcast. Today, I am joined by my good friend, Julee Patterson. What is up?
What is up? Having a good time.
Excited to be here in Dallas. Excited to shoot this with you. For those that may not know you, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm an indie broker in Northern California. We're right outside of Sacramento and kind of the suburbs. And
Placer County.
Placer County. Yes, we are Placer County. Rockland, Roseville, those are the big areas where we're from.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate in the industry since 95, but I've been a broker since 2008, and I've been selling real estate since 2002.
Great time to get your broker's license, 2008.
Fabulous, yes. And I was kind of unusual that I never worked I only went working for myself. So I was on the lending side, and then I decided to start actively selling real estate and just got my broker's license and never worked for a big company. So I was only solo for myself.
Okay, that's, I feel like a little bit different. Did you just since you already had experience, you kind of knew the direction you wanted to go?
I did.
Okay.
Being in lending, I had, a pretty vast background there, and I would sell real estate very, very few, I don't know, maybe one or two a year doing lending. And then I said, I'm just gonna sell real estate full time. I'd rather do that. I liked being in the field more than I liked back then. I'm old, sadly, since fax machine days, really that was my thing.
Don't date yourself here,
I mean, it was rough. We had to have credit reports come over on a little machine. I mean, I'm that old. That is true. And so, but then you had to be at the office all the time. In lending now, you can be away from your desk, but then we couldn't. And I really wanted to be with people. Yeah. And so real estate was definitely more of a better fit.
Yeah. Well, and just knowing your personality, being around people and just, you're definitely you thrive in that, in that environment. So I feel you there. Yeah. So as far as a brand new agent, if someone just got their license today, what advice would you give them as far as that finding the brokerage? Because now, in 2022, right? You have to have a certain amount of transactions and time with your license before you can just go and be a broker, right? So what advice would you give someone if they're looking for a brokerage or a team, or if they're just starting out day one, newly licensed?
Definitely find culture. Find people that you enjoy spending time with. We spend a lot of time with our work families. I mean, you're with people that you are transacting with constantly. My team that I have, they are my best friends in life too. And so if you don't have a good vibe and you don't feel supported and cared about and loved as a person, more than just as someone that's doing transactions, I think it's hard to have your fit. So I think really most important is having people that you like and enjoy spending time with.
Well, and so let's dig deeper on that, right? Because you go in, if I'm a brand new agent, I go in and I interview at ABC Realty, right? I go in and I meet the broker, they seem nice. Then what, I just ask to come to a meeting or meet people, or how do you dig deeper? Because everyone says they have good training and culture and mentorship and all the things.
Yeah, people say all the things. I think meeting the other people that are part of the office is important as well. So it's not just the broker that you're going to have a conversation with. I mean, you need to know who you're going to be working with all the time, because there's plenty of times that I'm not available, that someone else steps in to be able to help and lead. And you've got to trust and like those people too. And so people that also, it's important to us that we work with people that are kind and that care more about our clients than we do our own financial paycheck. And so having people that share that, you can spot easily if they're not someone that has your same value structure. And so I think that understanding who you're working with is really super important.
So culture and values, I think both are very important.
Yes.
So I like that. I like that a lot. So one of the things I want to talk about a lot with you is marketing, right? Yeah. So, for anyone that follows you on social media, if you don't already follow Julee on social media, hop on over to her Instagram. It's just your name, right?
It's just my name. Yeah. My name is spelled weird. It's Julee.
Yeah.
Patterson.
Yeah. Julee. So sorry about that, y'all. Yeah. Anyways, if someone doesn't already follow you on Instagram, you've got a good mix, right? And that's something I always look for, because you hop onto a lot of social media for an agent. It's a Canva template, house, just listed, just sold, house, right? And you have carousel posts, you have reels, you have funny stuff, you have educational stuff. You mix in family stuff and friends, and so tell me a little bit about what your mindset is behind social, and where you come up with your ideas, because you post a lot.
So I only got an Instagram 2 years ago, I think. Okay. So again, I'm old. I mean, that is true, and it was kind of new, and I didn't really know what to do or how to even do Instagram. Yeah. I got Facebook down, but Instagram was new to me. And so I consumed and saw what I enjoyed connecting with people. And social media, I truly believe, is social. You're not there to just, you're there to connect with people, and that's the whole purpose. And so things that people like to engage with, that's the kind of stuff that I try to do more of.
Yeah.
People are always going to engage more when your face is there and when you're talking about your family, your life, your own personal stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's how people know, like, and trust you. You're buying from a person, not a brand. And so house, sure, that might give you a little bit of social proof, but doesn't give you any insight as to the person that you're going to be working with.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you just need to put a good variety of things out that is going to attract the people that want to work with you. If someone really is like anal retentive, maybe they might want house. That might be what they want. And so
It's more like spreadsheet.
they might like
that's
that.
What I like.
See, then that would be who you are. How did you connect with me then?
I don't know. I ask myself that a lot.
I make her hug me all the time.
And again,
I mean, it happens. But I think if you putting out what you enjoy, even though you're doing it from our perspective, it's for a business. And so you are putting it out for the purpose of connecting with someone else. But I think if you're not doing stuff that you enjoy, it makes it a lot harder to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people always like think that it's work and things like that. So like one of the things, and I was actually talking to our good friend Erica Wolf, Wolf of Real Estate, about this the other day, and I was like, it was like Cat Day, and you had like the post.
Oh, really?
You know, but like, do you like look at the year and say, hey, here's like, I know you have a photographer and videographer, and like, you know, the branding stuff like already built into your brokerage, right? So it's like we're gonna do content days, we're gonna like shoot videos, we're gonna shoot pictures, you know, branding photos, whatever, right? So that'd be part of it. If you don't already have branding photos quarterly, at least, like do that. But like, do you like look at a calendar of the year of like the international and national days, or are you just like, let's just get a bunch of random shit, or like how do you come up with these ideas? So
the Catter Day was we actually have a whole thing about Catter Day. I saw a meme. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I'm really a dog person. Like we share a doodle love, and so I'm not really a cat person. No offense against cat people, but it's not really my jam.
It's not a thing.
It's not really my jam. But we had this joke that one of my girls on my team, Megan, super goofy and silly too, and we had like old lady costumes with like wigs, and the whole joke of like, you can't spell homeowner without meow, like home meowner, which is so corny. But it, like, we cracked up. Like, I thought it was hilarious. So we had this whole thing, and we kept missing the day. Like, I didn't check the calendar, so we kept missing, you know, cat adoption day or whatever. And so Catter Day came out, and it was corny. I really wanted to do the whole thing, but I didn't notice it was Catter Day until like that morning or something. Yeah. So no, I wish I was a lot more. Okay. I wish I had a lot more planning.
So probably not a good question to ask.
No, I know, right? That was not the best answer, right? Like we're not. So I guess here's the thing: is like people probably reach out to you about socials. Like, what advice do you give to people of like, hey, you know, you log on and you see it's all houses and Canva templates. Like, what advice would you give to someone of like, hey, here's how you can like spice up your social media?
For sure. So I think it's important to have something that people are reminded about you that doesn't involve real estate. So most people that know me, Katie for sure, I love Swedish Fish, which is kind of weird and unusual. It's kind of people think a gross candy, which it's not gross, it's amazing. But I get pictures of people at the grocery store, or their kids drop off, you know, Swedish Fish from Halloween at my office, and people are like getting roadside snacks, and they'll take a picture at the gas station with Swedish Fish. And like, Swedish Fish is definitely something that people are reminded about me, like, you know, 10, 15, 20 times a year that doesn't have anything to do with real estate. So they're more likely to remember me when real estate comes up because they remembered about the Swedish Fish. And so whatever it is that's your thing, like, talk about it almost ad nauseum. Like, it's like, I do talk about Swedish Fish a lot, but no one's going to remember if you don't talk about it. Like, if you know Katie, you absolutely know she loves her shoes. Like, you know that she's got kicks of the day and that's her thing. She works out. Like, the pillars of things that are her and her personal life, those are things that people remember you by. And then they're more likely to remember you for real estate because they remember you got cool shoes, you work out every day, you wear the blazer, moved to town. Like, all the things that are Katie make you want to like you more.
One fun fact about the Swedish Fish is that if you're listening to this, you're not seeing this, I just poured out a tumbler, insulated tumbler full of Swedish Fish that Julie gave to me. I actually brought her a bunch of mini Swedish Fish as well. So like, we're not doing well on like getting rid of our junk food. But when I posted a thing with the Swedish Fish on it and I put in the GIF Swedish Fish, you actually popped up on the homepage of Swedish Fish. So I don't know if you're listening, is Swedish Fish the company?
I don't know who the Swedish Fish company
Mon
is.
Deleuze International Group has the copyright on Swedish Fish. If y'all are listening to this, you guys need to think about sponsoring Gateway Properties and Julee Patterson, just because like she literally is one of your best spokespeople. No, I think that's good, and I think that a lot of times people don't focus in on the personal life, right, or the personal things, and I think they think that in order to share personal, they've got to like open up their entire lives and like share deep dark secrets and things like that. Like you can share what you want to share, you can share as little or as much, but like be consistent with it and pepper that into your content, because like they want to do business with the people, right? So yeah, I would completely agree with that, and I'm excited to dig into these. So when Gateway Properties is your brokerage, right? So you immediately just went into owning your own brokerage.
So I had Gateway Financial Group was my my mortgage company, and I started that young. I was young, and when
now you're old.
And now I'm old. We've established that. Yeah.
Her words, not mine.
It is. I feel 100. My son is a grown ass man. Like, graduated from college, owns a home. Like, I'm definitely old. So, it's okay. I've come to terms with it. But Gateway Properties.
And you're like not old. Like just so everyone knows, I'm making fun of her because she said that. She's not actually old. Moving on.
I do feel it.
But with Gateway Properties, it just it wasn't like anything particularly clever. At the time when I created it, I wanted something that seemed not super small. Like I wanted it to seem like it was bigger than it was. Yeah. So I'm not particularly married to it or anything. I mean, I am now. I'm married to it. Yeah. I'm literally married to it now. Yeah. But it's not anything. It was nothing special. I mean, it can be anything.
But you just jumped right into that. So I think a lot of times people will have a team or they'll look to start a team and they're like, do I start my own brokerage? Do I join a brokerage? Like, what do I do? Right. And I know we've had these conversations because like I went down that path. What advice would you give to someone if they're looking to start a team or start a brokerage? Because it's like, I feel like it sounds fun. Like we're at the Tom Ferry Summit. We're going to hear him talk about teams all week. But like teams aren't for everyone. Right. So if you were like looking individual agent, have a decent amount of production, looking to either start a team or start a brokerage, like what advice would you give to someone to think about before they go down that path?
Well, I think now versus when I started my brokerage, there's a lot more opportunities. Places like Real that have the opportunity to remove some of that liability.
I didn't pay her for this.
She didn't. And I'm not Real. I mean, I'm an indie brokerage, but I've had mine for a long time and it's been established. And I think it's hard. I mean, if you were to come in and start now, I don't think if I was to get a broker's license now, I would start necessarily my own indie brokerage. I would definitely go the route of going to a company that provided brokerage services on an affordable basis because now, I mean, I have my own tech stack that I've built. I mean, we have things that we've built. And so if I was getting going, I wouldn't go the route of indie. There's so many other options that are easier and cheaper, frankly, and less liability. So it doesn't really make any sense to be an indie brokerage from the start right now.
Yeah, your name's on the door.
Yeah.
Your name's on the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I think I've run into brokers. I mean, I've been in the business a long time, and luckily the girls that are on my team now, we don't really take new people because it's too hard. I'm a producing broker still. I'm still I'm still the one doing quite a bit of production on our team. But all my girls are top 5, 10, or most of my girls are top 5, 10% in the area. And so we have knowledgeable, experienced girls on our team that don't necessarily need me on brokerage level things on a day-to-day basis. And if I was having to do that, there's no way that I could do it. By going to some place that has the brokerage questions that you get to go to. And I think a lot of people, they don't really know. I mean, if they try to start a brokerage, they don't have the skill set and the knowledge and experience behind them. You could get yourself in people can get themselves in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So that was my thing, I was like, I like the team leader aspect, I like the coaching, the mentorship, the training, but like having my name on the door and all the liability, although like my E&O could probably be less than my cap, right? It's like, there's still all of those things that like.
It's heavy weight on you too. I mean, it's not just financial liability, it's like emotional liability of like a house is a huge purchase for someone.
For sure.
And you want to make sure you're doing the things that you need to do to make sure that those people are protected. And the people that are working for you are doing the things that need to be done to make sure that they're protected. And so it's a lot.
Yeah. What is a book or two that you would recommend to people to read?
I don't read, so that's probably not a great question.
What's a coloring book that you would recommend people
coloring book? No. Swedish Fish. No,
Swedish Fish of the world.
Yes, I don't know.
Places to eat Swedish Fish.
I sadly don't have. I haven't. I listen to audiobooks. So like Never Split the Difference. Okay. I love that. That's a great book.
Well, I mean, I think that's like an awesome book. If you haven't read it, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Gives a lot of good tips. Just like the little things. Like, I mean, I've read it, I've heard him speak, but like just like smiling before having a difficult conversation, you know, and stuff like that is like, oh, I like the little takeaways are what I really like.
Me too.
So I hear you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one hard-hitting question.
Okay. What you got?
If it were your last meal on earth, what would you be eating?
A steak and potatoes and a lot of sweets.
Swedish Fish.
Probably not. I get a lot of those in my life, so
Yeah.
probably some really chocolatey amazingness of some sort.
All right, one
Yeah.
final follow-up on that then.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cut of steak?
Filet, probably.
Filet. Okay. All right. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Julie, I appreciate you. If someone does not already follow you, where would be the best place for them to find you?
Well, now I'm in Instagram, so I am hitting that. I've been hitting that pretty hard for the last couple years.
Fax
You could fax me.
Yeah.
You could fax. I still have a phone. Sadly, I still have fax, so you could.
See, when we're talking about broker profitability, you could probably cut your fax line.
Well, I think it's an e-fax line now,
Ah.
but I sadly do still get them. I sadly still get e-fax. I live in an older community that
No, that's
we
good.
have. I have agents in my town that are like 90.
Faxing you offers.
They do.
Yeah.
I wish I was kidding, but
I am not kidding.
Have you seen that broke agent meme where it's like, can you fax over the offer? They're like, oh, we don't have that here. And it's like, where's here? They're like,
2022.
Yeah, 2022,
Yeah.
Julie, 2022.
I am not sending any faxes.
Yeah.
I will definitely put that on record that I have not sent a fax in a solid 10
Year.
years, probably.
Week or two.
No, like near a decade. It's been a long time since I've sent a
I'll,
fax. I do receive them.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Instagram, follow her. She puts out a lot of great content. It's fun. Follow for the Swedish Fish. And this was fun. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie. Bye.